This is the fourth time. Usually I tried 3 times. Should technology be more front and center in this game? Historically it was. This is a thread on the forums accessandallies.org. SS Gen says what games. Um, Pripet Martian says technology should absolutely be a key element, but you have to come up with a system allowing for targeted R&D rather than the random hit and miss that we have right now. And SS Gen says depends on your tech rules, which he's talking about house rules. Swolger says he sets goals that if nations reach those goals, they get a tech roll. That would be like a grasshopper system. Get a victory point, and you get. So, for instance, he mentions Atlantic Ocean free of enemy ships. Get a research roll. So, SS Gen says that he has cards. Now, these are 22 cards for each nation. And you receive 2 free tech cards. One's a free tech, and the other's a spy that steals tech. So, and he says it doesn't imbalance the game, even when people get a lot. So, and then sometimes people don't get a lot. So I found a thread, Gargantua and Grasshopper thread about research facilities, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I looked into it. I said I mostly agree with Swolger, but we must avoid the distinctly global phenomena of rewarding the wealthy, aka the rich get richer. I think the bonuses, this is national objective bonuses, ought to be innate, i.e. Leningrad itself has a bonus that goes to whomever owns it, but that's NOs, NAs, I mean, no, NOs. And then this is some of his event cards, SS Gens. Fog over England, you cannot fly. Weapons development, free tech. Free technology token. All bombers immune to AA guns, night bombing raids. And the big one, Rise of the Kriegsmarine. The Bismarck is placed in Season 18. So, yeah. So, I mentioned here that that there should be a modification. I'll do that right now. And any modification to the game, because the imbalance ought to be at like a 3-2 or even 4-3 bonus. Now, I realized afterward that 3-2 is a bigger, and so I should have gone, should be at a ratio of 4-3 or even 3-2. Bonuses for the allies, because the game is imbalanced. Other event cards, he says, yes, of course, 22 to 20, 20 to 22 per nation. And here's some more. Typhoon and Burma, armor buildup, Franco-Communist Mussolini meeting. There you go. There's some cool cards. Looks really fun. Variety being the spice of life. Then he talks about, I guess his games run on a D12 system. Which is interesting. And he's got some task force cards. And then Barney jumps in and says that he used to use the research facilities, but lost them when his computer went down, and he used them in conjunction with Der Kussler's tech chart. And then there's the infrastructure. I mean, the research facilities. Yeah. And there's an A-bomb in it, which I think is really cool. And I checked this research facility post out. I like it. With my event cards, each country has a chance to receive a free tech card. And also 2 cards have it where they receive a free tech token. Plus a spy card that can steal an enemy tech if they have one. And you can also buy a tech token for $5. You could add, he says, but I could add a research facility on map for each capital, and now they can be SPR. strategic bombing raid. If they don't pay off the damage, then they don't get their tech roll at the end of their turn, I believe is what Gargantua is going to say. So the question is, in my game, if you have 4 tech tokens and roll 4 sixes, you only get 1 tech, and the rest of the tokens are destroyed. So is the damage facility too much cost for repair? Maybe, but remember you have a chance of 2 free techs and a free tech in your event card, plus a spy steals a tech if you have it. So a damaged research facility shouldn't hurt you that much if it's just in the capitals, most times not bombed. So he talks about adjusting. In his games, most only buy 1 or 2 tokens because they're waiting for the free stuff in the cards. And as Gargantua mentioned, it gives each country a chance for tech, and honestly, this is the first time I read this topic. And more money toward buying pieces in game, like Russia can't really buy a token but has a chance for tech, but also may not get a good one. But then might get rockets, industrial cost, -1, long-range artillery, or radar. Some good ones there for no cost. He's talking about as event cards. But you may not get these event cards in game for tech 2. 22 cards each deck and only turn 10 over most in games. Spice it up. So I say I'm not inclined to give France a facility given the current turn order and setup. In other words, it does what so many house rules end up doing, strengthening the Axis. The British should get 2. They came up with so much tech. When at war, the British and the American cooperation might result in an added role. Italy, no tech. Russia only gets ground in production. I will say the best tech system I've ever seen was Grasshopper and Big Owls. Deluxe, aka chronologically graduated. Not so much a tech chart as just you get advanced stuff, and I'll show you in a minute. It's nation-specific and tied to history, but this standalone mechanic is the best. And by the way, I would be against... I'm going to bed. Okay. Jen said... Night. So SS Jen says, yes, I was a bit involved in the deluxe game. So in that you're saying, yes, history-wise, give each country tech as war goes on. The French don't get tech in game. Event cards are more or less espionage and small stuff. Plus, each country gets 2 NAs, so they get something at the start. Then I'm going to move on to the next page. And what if you put a year in your cards, each turn 3 to 6 months, probably 6, and add cards to the pile as the game progresses. But he says once the cards are shuffled at the start, they cannot be reshuffled during the game at all. And then he talks about a tech tree, which is interesting. Then whatever the country got in war is put on the list, and some lists will have more than others. But he says, the game is not exactly historical. Now he gives tigers, if Germany gets tigers starting on turn 6 every game, and that shouldn't be a tech. They should get to buy that starting on a certain turn based on year where your game starts. So that's really kind of what I'm saying. And I say that is exactly why I like YG's system. They get it because they got it. Makes a lot of sense to me. I would even say the German bombers can only go 4 spaces. They never build a 4-engine bomber. All this would be mods, cool options to throw in the game. Yes, I was talking about tech in the event. And then he is skeptical that anyone will actually use these things. So then let me just go over to research facilities. Okay, this is actually, let's go over the research facilities. This is the thread I was talking about. The research facilities from Gargantua. Everyone whines about tech here and there. I have a new approach learned from my days of custom gaming. Buy a research facility for $15 for each facility. At the end of your turn, after placement, you get to roll a tech die. If you lose a facility, the facility is destroyed, the conqueror can choose to take a tech from you. If you have one, they don't already have. If no tech is available to steal, the conqueror can make a tech roll at the end of the conquering turn as the research facility is removed. Each nation starts with a facility in their capital, including France, excluding China. UK Calcutta does not get one. Everyone now gets a decent shot at research. Optional at the start of the game before any dice are rolled. Everyone gets one free roll at research. One could also pay 8 IPC sum to the bank to keep a conquered facility. So I wouldn't agree with that because someone pointed out later in the thread here, if Germany were able to do Sea Lion, they would get, and even the one at France is a problem too, because now you're talking about Germany getting 3 tech. That's pretty high motivation to capture not only Paris, but also London as quickly as possible. And then literally have 3 tech rolls every round. That would be, I think, would imbalance the game quite a bit. I like the idea of a pre-game roll. I am big on not having the same thing, not having the same setup every time. I don't think that's fun for me. I know some people think it's really fun, and the best way to do it. But I would rather be the general that is, like real generals, thrown into the mix, confusion, noise, pressure, and have to make snap decisions. So a lot of people liked the idea, and some of them didn't like the capture. Some of them thought about the Soviet Union, urging the scientists. So let me move over here. So this is a great thread. Check it out, please. It's an old one, but it's a goodie. And you can SBR the facilities. Probably they would be treated as a minor, and so maximum of 6 damage. All right, so let me go on to the last one to keep this video a little shorter. This is grasshoppers. So in grasshoppers, we have these. This is a deluxe, his deluxe Axis Allies, which is really cool. I played it over a 3-day period. And C units. Let's see here. All right, specialized units. This is what I'm talking about. February 18th, 2019. And here, round 1, we have super battleships. So look at those stats. Pretty impressive stuff. Build Q right there. Okay. And just leave that up for a minute. And then we go to radar 2, radar tower on turn 2. Look at those. For 2 or less. Add up to 4 aircraft. And 4 aircraft. A scramble from operational airbase. Russian rocket artillery. Now these, by the way, there's a separation between artillery and TAC bombers being able to hit first and remove casualties. So quite a innovation. Love targeted attacks. Love these, you know, kind of like a Shogun thing. Sorry, I'm probably giving you crackles. So Russian Essex class carrier, round 4. Tiger tanks, round 5. German V rockets. Super Fortress bombers, round 7. Jet fighters for Germany, round 8. And atom bombs for the United States, cost 9, round 9. All right, so those are some thoughts about tech. Certainly not the final word, and someday I hope we can get a final word from the big man himself. However, obviously, one of the best ideas of tech has been the AA50, the anniversary, yep, and the anniversary has tech tokens. And you keep those tech tokens. You buy $5, and People in one of the threads. People in one of the threads said that you consider those things, the tokens, as scientists, and you keep the scientists producing, and the scientists eventually, come around and give you something that you need. All right, those are some ideas about technology. I thought it was really cool. There you go. Crockett 36 out.